Well, let's now take you to Durban, where Operation Dudula will this morning march to the South African Human Rights Commission offices in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal. The organisation has been blocking undocumented foreign nationals from accessing healthcare facilities, where they say South Africans should be given first preference. Newzroom Afrika's Silethiwe Ndlovu is at the assembly point of the march and now joins us live. A very good morning to you, Silethiwe. Where will these marches depart from and what are their concerns?
Good morning, Elgin. Well, the marches will be departing from King Dinizulu Park, which is just here right behind me. And we know, as you have already stated, they are going to be marching to the SA Human Rights Commission offices, not so far from where we are, actually. It's just a mere few minutes away. But as you already stated, they are firstly going to be marching against the SA Human Rights Commission, but also marching against undocumented immigrants that are attempting to access healthcare facilities that we have in the country. Now, this would not be the first call that has been made by Operation Dudula. We know, of course, that over the past few weeks, they have been stating that South Africans, as you stated, should be prioritized when it comes to receiving healthcare in the country, and that undocumented immigrants should not be receiving any healthcare services in the country. Now, this is their own accounts, of course, that they've been stating over the past few weeks. But also, Elgin, this is not the only organization that has been making that call. A number of organizations have been quite vocal about some of their concerns when it comes to undocumented immigrants in the country, specifically when it comes to receiving healthcare. What we know, Elgin, they have stated that when you are looking at undocumented immigrants, there are certain facilities that do become hotspots for undocumented immigrants, which means that there's healthcare workers that are overwhelmed and overworked because those facilities you find are quite popular when you are looking at undocumented immigrants. Now, the Department of Health has stated that they do, of course, condemn those that come into the country for the sole purpose of utilizing our healthcare services, while also acknowledging that undocumented immigrants do actually strain the little budgets that the country has. But also, Elgin, they do condemn those that are blocking undocumented immigrants from accessing our healthcare facilities in the country. But coming from Operation Dudula, then today we are set to see them march against the SA Human Rights Commission, but also march against undocumented immigrants that are still attempting to access healthcare facilities in the country.
Yeah, and it's interesting as well that we have this march taking place, of course, one of many that have been taking place over the past couple of months, if not years. And then you have the national security strategy that warns of tension amongst foreign nationals as well as South Africans. Just speak to us about some of the sentiments that have been expressed by some foreign nationals, including those who have said that they will ensure that they access those healthcare facilities irrespective of South Africans blocking them.
Well, there's a few sentiments, Elgin, that have been shared by undocumented immigrants, but also foreign nationals in the country. A couple of weeks ago, in fact, we spoke to a Congolese national who stated that the solution that he has when you are looking at this problem is that the government in the country should actually build a hospital that is strictly for foreign nationals. Now, that is the solution that he has. But also, Elgin, there are other individuals that we've spoken to stating that they are against those activities that have been taking place in those different facilities. They state that those activities are inhumane. And of course, there are a number of departments that have also stated that despite the fact that they do acknowledge that the foreign nationals, or rather undocumented immigrants that come into the country, do strain the little budget that we have. However, they do condemn those actions because they are inhumane. But coming from the foreign nationals that we've spoken to, a lot of them stating that one, the government should build a private hospital for them in the country, but also stating that they are against some of those activities that have been taking place in those different hospitals and in those different facilities. But lastly, if you look at some of the sentiments that have been shared by some people that actually do work inside those facilities, they state that the queues are not so long, Elgin. As we know, of course, as you stated, over the past few weeks, there's undocumented immigrants that have been blocked from going inside those hospitals. So it seems as if, coming from the organizations that have been conducting those activities, I beg your pardon, they state that these activities have been quite helpful when you are looking at solving some of the issues that we have in the healthcare system, in the healthcare sector rather.